Chapter number 5, problem number 14. This has been a challenging problem for students in the past because of the levels of the tree that goes to. The tree will stay the same. What will change in your problems will be the numbers. You have two basic alternatives to choose from. You either make the product or buy. So just to get it out of the way, I'll focus on the buy. The buy option is very simple. It costs you $1 million for the vendor development and $500,000 to purchase the pieces. That's very straightforward. There's no probabilities to multiply. You simply, because it's a known good, if you're going to buy it from the vendor, it's already established. So you have a total of $1.5 million. But if you make it, you may or may not be successful. So if you make it, you can either succeed, which would be good, at 40%, or you can fail. So if you make it yourself the first time, so it's like succeeding the first time, there's a 40% chance you're going to succeed the first time. But there's a 60% chance you'll be unsuccessful the first time. If you are successful the first time, it will cost you $1 million. So you take the 1 million and you multiply by 40%, which is 400,000. All right. Now, if you fail the first time, you have a choice. You can try it again, or you can go and buy it. So if you go and buy it, you have the $1 million from the first try. You have to pay the vendor development of 1 million and the pieces for $500,000. So it's going to cost you $250,000. So you try it, you fail, you give up, you just buy it externally. It's going to cost you $2.5 million. If you decide to try again, so you fail the first time, you decide to try it again. Because of your experience the first time, you have a 90% chance of success and a 10% chance of failure. If you try it, if after failing and you're successful, you will have spent $1 million to start it up and $1 million to redesign it. So you're going to take the 2 million and you're going to multiply it by 0.9 and you get 1.8 million. If you fail the first time and you fail again, then you're going to give up. You're not going to fail more than twice. So it costs you for the first trial, it costs you for the second trial, and then you just buy it externally. That's going to cost you $3.5 million. So 3.5 million times 10% is 0.35 million, or 350,000. When you total those up, that's where the 2.15 million comes from. So if you fail the first time, should you try again or should you buy? There's no problem. You have to pick one of the two. It's an alternative. Well, trying again is less expensive than buying it. Then you take the total in this particular case, and you would add the two together to get, so you're going to take this and you're going to take the 2.15 million, multiply by 0.6, okay, and you get 1 million to 1.29 million. So you add that to the 400,000 and you get 1.69 million. And that number, I'll draw it, is where this number comes from or goes to. This is more complex because you've got a good fail. Just think of it if you took a course. If you take a course and you pass, it's cheaper. If you take a course and you withdraw or, heaven forbid, fail, you have a choice. In this case, you could try it again, and the second time you try it, you're more likely to be successful, or you could fail again. And you actually have an alternative here, which you normally would not, is just to give up and just buy it. So you have a choice. If you try to make it yourself, it's going to cost you $1,690,000. If you buy it, it's going to cost you $1.5 million. Now, so the best decision is just buy it. It's going to be less expensive. So the expected monetary value is the minimum cost, which is $1.5 million, which is same answer as part A. The worst that can happen is it's going to cost you, this is worst, right? You fail, or this company fails twice, and then you have to buy it externally. It's going to cost them $3.5 million is worst case scenario. Under the best case scenario, you make it yourself, or you try to make it yourself, and the first time you try it, it works. That'll cost you $1 million. So the best, or the lowest cost is $1 million. The highest cost is 3.5, but the best decision is to buy it based on the probabilities. So each one of you, when you do your study plans and your assignments and your quizzes, are going to get different numbers. So you might after the test say, well, my decision was to buy it. My decision was to make it. And you're correct based on the numbers. The structure that you see, the tree, will stay the same. What again will change are the costs will change and the probabilities will change. And then, of course, your calculations. But the chart that you have, you may want to have that beside you when you go to do your assignment or your quiz. I know I certainly would, because this is a complex example because of the making. It's not just, if it was just as simple as you try to make it, the first time it's either good or fail. That would be fairly straightforward. But once you fail, you then have a choice where you see the squares, you have a choice. Wherever you see the square, the alternative, you have to make a choice between make, buy, and between try again and buy. Wherever there's a circle, there's probabilities, and you have to multiply through and add those two together. So this is a complex example, and I hope that my explanation has made it a little bit more clear.